Okay, we don't have the kinds of evening planet parades this month that we had in January and February, but especially in early March, we still have an evening sky with some beautiful, bright planets. Plus, March has something that January and February didn't have, and that's a total eclipse of the moon, visible throughout North America. And 2 weeks later, there's an eclipse of the sun that we in North America can't see, but it'll be fun to think about. And of course, we have the March equinox, which for us in the Northern Hemisphere means springtime. So let's start with the planets. In early March, you can see four planets: Mars, Jupiter, Venus, and Mercury. Mars and Jupiter are bright and high in the sky when darkness falls. Mars is red, and Jupiter is brighter than all the other star like objects up there, except for Venus. And you've got to look soon after sunset for Venus and Mercury. More about that right now. On March 4th and 5th, you can look for the giant planet Jupiter near the moon. The bright star nearby is Aldebaran, the fiery red eye of the bull in Taurus, and there's a tiny dipper-shaped star cluster nearby. That's the Pleiades, also known as the Seven Sisters. Okay, Venus, the brightest planet, it's still up there every evening in the first half of March, blazing in the west shortly after the sun goes down. It's super easy to see above the other inner planet in our solar system, Mercury. And on March 7th and 8th, Mercury will reach what's called its greatest elongation. That's its greatest distance from the sun on our sky's dome for this evening apparition. And this is the best evening appearance of Mercury in 2025 as seen from the Northern Hemisphere. So get out there and join the exclusive club of people who've seen Mercury. And also on March 7th and 8th, as the sky gets darker, you'll find the moon near Mars. And notice how red Mars is on this chart and also in the sky. The bright stars Castor and Pollux in the constellation Gemini, the twins, will be nearby. And then, arg, mark your calendars for March 9th, the day that we in the US will spring forward. If it feels like you've lost an hour's sleep that morning, that's because you have. But don't worry, you'll get it back 6 months later when we fall back. Ugh. But the big event in March 2025 is on the evening of March 13th and the morning of March 14th for us in the Americas. It's a total eclipse of the moon, and it's going to be a real treat. A lunar eclipse is visible to an entire hemisphere of Earth at the same time. And there are some tips that can help you enjoy it more. And we at EarthSky will be hosting a detailed how to just on this event on March 7th. So mark your calendars to come back and join us then if you want those details from the night sky experts at EarthSky about the March 13-14 lunar eclipse. But for now, here's why lunar eclipses happen. This is the moon going through its phases. And as you know, as the moon orbits Earth, we see varying fractions of the moon's lighted half or day side. And now think about Earth's shadow stretching out behind us in space. It's when the moon enters the darkest part of Earth's shadow that we see a total eclipse of the moon. And when a total eclipse happens, the moon turns blood red. But why does that happen? Here's the moon as you'll see it in the sky. And there's the moon turning red. So first, the moon goes into Earth's lighter penumbral shadow, and it looks like the moon has a shade cast over it. And then the moon goes into the dark umbral shadow, and that's when the moon turns red. It happens because sunlight is filtering through Earth's atmosphere and it's going onto the moon's surface, and that's what causes the red color. It has to be night for you, when the eclipse happens in order for you to see it, and that's why, sorry, Australia and New Zealand, you won't see this one. It'll be daytime for you when this eclipse takes place, but it'll be the evening of March 13th and the morning of March 14th for us in the Americas, and all of North America and most of South America will see it happen at exactly the same moment, but our clocks will say different times. So, phew, that'll be exciting. A total eclipse of the moon, but the sky always has more. And of course, March 2025, we also have an equinox when the sun in our sky crosses what's called the celestial equator. That's the imaginary line directly above Earth's equator. And at this equinox, the sun will be crossing the celestial equator, moving from south to north and bringing spring and summer to the Northern Hemisphere. And you might know that the celestial equator strikes all of our horizons at points due east and due west. And that's why, for everyone on Earth, the equinox sun rises due east and sets due west. But there's another way to think about the equinox. And that's because equinoxes and solstices are really all about Earth's tilt. Our world tilts on its axis as it orbits the sun. And what we're looking at here is Earth from outer space over the course of a year. And you can watch that never ending movement of Earth's terminator line, which is the line between day and night on the moon. And the orientation of that line changes over the course of a year, as you can see in this video. Earth isn't changing its tilt. Our tilt is always the same, but the angle of the sun striking Earth is changing. And on the September and March equinoxes, light is spread evenly across the globe. And as seen from outer space, Earth's terminator line, the line between day and night on the Earth, runs from pole to pole. And if you're outside on equinox morning, that's the morning of March 20th, you can look eastward for this sign from the heavens that spring is really coming. The moon will be right next to a star that we consider a summer star in this hemisphere, and that star is Antares, the heart of the scorpion. Antares is a red star, and it's sitting in the midst of a noticeable pattern on the sky's dome, a pattern that really resembles the curved tail of a scorpion. So this is one of the few constellations that looks like its name. But as I said, there's another eclipse in March, and here you go. It's a deep partial solar eclipse visible on March 29th from northeastern North America, Greenland, Iceland, the North Atlantic Ocean, most of Europe, and northwestern Russia. We'll have more about that eclipse too on a future live stream. And a solar eclipse on March 29th means that the moon is in front of the sun that day, but the moon never stops moving in orbit around the Earth. So on March 30th and 31st, many of you will see a slim crescent moon, what astronomers call a young moon, returning to the west after sunset. So that's all I've got for today. But I want to thank you for watching our March 2025 Night Sky Sampler. And of course, I want to ask you to share, like, and subscribe. Help us get over that hump to 50,000. Thank you. And thank you to my producer, Jeremiah Guajardo, and to Natalia for your help today. One Earth, one sky, EarthSky.